If you saw someone strike a match and set fire to a stack of their own cash, you'd think they had lost their mind. We fiercely protect our bank accounts, yet we casually burn through something infinitely more valuable every single day. The difference between the two is simple. If you lose $1, you can always earn another one, but time is strictly finite. The moment you spend a second, it is gone forever, and your total supply is constantly depleting without you even knowing the balance. Nearly 2,000 years ago in ancient Rome, a philosopher and statesman named Seneca noticed this exact contradiction. He observed that people will violently defend their physical property from trespassers, yet they will happily open the door and invite others to steal hours of their lives. To fix this, Seneca wrote his famous essay on the shortness of life. By mapping his thoughts across the past, present, and future, we can extract 10 distinct rules to reclaim the agency we often lose to routine and inertia. The first of these rules requires a total redefinition of wealth. Seneca argues we must value time as our most precious currency. A balanced person knows that true wealth includes peace, health, and freedom, and time is the primary asset that buys all three. If you want to understand the true value of a year, ask a student who has failed a grade. To understand the value of a month, speak to a mother who gives birth a month early. Watch how quickly the stakes scale down on this timeline. To understand an hour, ask the traveler who missed their flight. And to understand a fraction of a second, look at the race car driver who takes home silver instead of gold. Treating time as your primary currency dictates how you feel at the end of the day. When you reflect on your afternoon and know you spent your hours well, you feel pride. If you squandered them, you feel regret. This visual breaks time into past, present, and future. The present is the only dimension where action occurs, but it's vulnerable to theft. This brings us to Rule 8. Do not spend time aimlessly. Today, algorithms and news cycles are engineered to drain immediate attention. To defend against this, Rule 6 dictates that we use our free time wisely. Even if you only have one unstructured hour, you must plan it intentionally, whether that means reading, learning a new skill, or simply exercising. That intentionality fuels Rule 4, plan and prepare. By deciding your most important tasks in advance and gathering exactly what you need to execute them, you eliminate the friction that leads to procrastination. Rule 5 addresses the gap between intention and action. Set short-term rewards. By attaching a small pleasure to a difficult step, like a treat after a finished chapter, you give your brain the immediate dopamine it craves while maintaining momentum on long-term work. Mastering the present requires building an aggressive defense against modern distractions, while simultaneously structuring your daily rewards to make productivity more appealing than passivity. When we shift our focus backward on the timeline, we hit the past. This is the only dimension of time that is completely locked and certain. Seneca's 7th rule asks us to learn from the past. Reviewing locked experiences creates a rich dataset to guide future decisions. And that guidance is critical, because looking ahead to the future reveals a zone that is entirely uncertain and guaranteed to no one. Because of this uncertainty, Rule 2 warns us to balance planning with present joy. We frequently fall into the retirement trap, working ourselves into the ground with the hope of enjoying life decades later, only to find that future never arrives. Seneca's 3rd rule insists we pursue goals right now, rather than accepting life defined by others. Waking up an hour earlier provides a quiet window to write a page or study a skill before the rest of the world starts demanding your attention. It's often the only way to ensure your own ambitions aren't buried under daily chores. Treating the past as a permanent library of data and viewing the future as an unguaranteed bonus strips away our excuses. It forces us to extract maximum value from the only day we actually possess. Zooming out, we have to ask, when the timeline inevitably runs out, how do we measure the final yield of our time portfolio? Seneca's 9th rule gives us the metric: create memories and experiences. Your identity is shaped by what you do and the people you connect with. A meaningful trip or a deep conversation will always yield a higher return than accumulating material possessions. To ensure those actions carry weight, his 10th and final rule is to dedicate time to philosophy. Through reading and reflection, you can absorb centuries of condensed human wisdom in a single afternoon. This practice led Seneca to a very sharp observation about aging. He noted that having white hair does not mean a person has lived a long life. It often merely proves they have existed a long time. Seneca's ultimate point was that life isn't actually short. It only feels that way when we fail to direct it ourselves. Thanks for staying until the end. It truly means a lot. If this video spoke to you, like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss what's ahead. This is a space for philosophy, psychology, and science to expand the way you see life. Until next time, may wisdom walk beside you.